So, what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to this Amazon Fire HD8 2016 full in-depth review. Now, this review is designed to be customizable, so you can go to the section that you would like, and it's going to be a little bit longer than most reviews, with the intentions on giving you the most in-depth understanding. So when you leave here, you have a decision whether or not you want this tablet. Now, I do advise you to watch other people's videos, do some more research, but I do try to give you my most in-depth experience and everything I can give to you, because I do absorb a lot of information. But anyways, let's talk about it just a little bit here. This video is going to be shot in 60 frames per second, the first for our reviews over here, so you can watch this in 60 FPS. Toggle that in the YouTube settings. So basically, here is the Fire HD8. It's going for not $104.99, that's without special offers. With the advertisements, and it is a #1 new release, meaning it's selling very well. You can see already 2,000 reviews. So this is going to be a hot commodity, aka a hot product for the Christmas season. But you can see all new Fire HD8 tablet here, 16 gigabyte model with ads. Basically, that's what special offers means. You can get it in blue, you can get it in pink, you can get it in magenta, you can get it in tangerine. So the color they actually call it is blue, magenta, tangerine, and I'm sure this one is just called black. Now, if you want the one without ads, you're gonna go ahead and have to drop an extra, looks like $15. But there's probably gonna be some software videos in the future about how to take the ads off. Personally, I'm not gonna be doing them because I don't really do all that hackery stuff too often, so I'm not gonna actually do that video, but I'm sure there's gonna be someone who puts a video up out there, or some kind of way, a website out there where you can find a way to get these ads off if you don't wanna pay for the ad locked one. Also, they are going to have a 32 gigabyte available October 24th, so not quite here, but they will have that as well, and that'll start at $119.99, and without special offers, that's going to go up to $134.99. So the one with special offers is already available for the 32 gig if you wanted to go with extra storage, but you're going to see there's plenty of expandable storage here on the the Amazon Fire HD8 here. So, like I say, let's get into this review, the full review. We're gonna go through all these sections. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's begin this review with a hardware tour of this device. So let's get this right out of the gate. This was released on September 2016, and this has a 1280 by 800 HD display. Now that brings this baby in at 189 pixels per inch. Basically, that's less than a 720p on a smartphone. Not very sharp if you get all anal and up close to the screen. However, it's still going to be plenty good enough because you're going to be seeing this tablet from a distance. So, what else does this feature? On the front of the device, you're going to find yourself a VGA camera here. Let me get in focus here. You're going to find yourself a VGA camera right there, which is basically the level of like a Motorola Razr. So not very strong camera here on the front. Basically, it's 0.3 megapixels. On the back here, you're going to find yourself a 2 megapixel camera here on the rear, so not very strong once again, but remember, this is a $90 tablet, full retail, so I mean, what more can you expect here for this tablet here? Now, on the right of the device, you're going to find yourself nothing here. If you decide to check out the right hand side of your device, you're going to find yourself nothing here on the Amazon Fire HD8. And up at the top of the device, we're going to find ourselves that power button switch right there, as well as a micro USB right here. And we do have a little microphone jack right there. Well, not a jack, but for voice. And you can see right here, we do have our volume marker switches up and down. And over to the left over here, which would be actually the right side if you're holding it this way, is our 3.5 millimeter headset jack there. So pretty thick bezels here, not the thinnest bezels in the world I've ever seen. But right here, you're gonna find yourself nothing on the bottom of the tablet there. And on the right-hand side, we do have a slot for a micro SD card expansion. So if I go ahead and open this baby up right here, we're gonna go up into 200 gigabytes capacity. So you can really jack this baby up if you want to get the most out of this tablet. So you can see right here, we do have stereo speakers, Now these are not these are dual channel on the left, so one right here, and you're gonna see one right there, but they aren't coming out both sides up at the top on both sides. It's only gonna come out this way, so the audio is gonna fire this way, but we'll talk more about that in the upcoming audio section of this device. So yeah, that's pretty much the hardware tour. I showed you the bottom. That's pretty much what you can expect. On the back, you're gonna find yourself the Amazon logo. We talked about the camera there on the back, and we'll talk about the build in a second, but you can see right here, FCC branding. Yeah, so let's get into the build quality of this baby right now. So the build quality of the Amazon Fire HD8, it's made out of a durable plastic, I would say. That's the way I'm gonna put it. You know, I'm not gonna throw my opinions until later on in my personal negatives and positives but this is made out of a durable plastic here. It does have one of those cheaper quality screens right here, so you don't see that deep black that blends in with the bezels. It's like that grayish look. And it does pick up fingerprints. I'm not sure if this has a coating on it, but it doesn't pick up a crazy amount of fingerprints, but it does pick up fingerprints quite easily here. And it's gonna feel, if you don't put a screen protector on there, you're gonna feel like you've used this tablet a while, because it does pick up quite a few fingerprints here on the front. But overall, yeah, that's pretty much the build quality. The screen doesn't scratch up very easily. I didn't notice any scratches on it here. And the screen itself doesn't have that smooth, super smooth feel, like that oleophobic coating, that 2.5D glass you find on some Apple products. So it doesn't have that super smooth, roll your thumb off the edge feel. You know what I'm talking about. It's basically got a little bit of a texture to it. So when you run your finger across, you can feel it. Like, there's a little bit of, it's not super buttery smooth. If it was buttery smooth, it wouldn't feel like this. Like, you would just see my finger rolling like that. That's how I can describe it. Not the buttery smooth feeling to the touch screen. So yeah, that's the build quality of the device. All the buttons here are very tactile. They have nice feedback, nice click. So when you go ahead and click them, basically, you know what you're clicking. You can feel it go down. It has nice travel on the keys, and they stick out pretty pronouncedly. As you can see, if I get closer here, they do have nice ridge and come up pretty high there on the buttons there. Now, there's no cover for the micro USB port, so you don't want to get that wet. But over here on the micro SD card slot, the build of this is pretty strong too. You got to dig your nail in there to get it out, and it covers your storage to keep your data safe. So overall, I would give the build quality section a pretty solid 8 out of 10 here for the Fire Amazon HD8. Now let's get into the specifications of the Amazon Fire HD8. So before we talk about specs, this is with the special offer. So you can see there's an ad on the lock screen, and every time you lock the screen, there's going to be a new ad for you. So if you go with the ad version, that's the with special offers, that's what you're going to get here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Now, in terms of specifications, this baby comes with a 1.3 gigahertz quad-core CPU, and that's 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. So decent specs, not blazing fast, not blazing quick, but definitely great enough to get the job done. Now, like I said, in terms of storage, you do have a 16 or 32 gigabyte option, micro SD expansion up to 200 GBs. So you're not going to run out of storage, but it's kind of weird because you don't really have the ability to send applications to the SD card. So really what the SD card is going to function here as is a picture taking or video taking machine, but we're going to talk about later, this is not the greatest picture or video taking machine, but you might want to throw movies, pictures and stuff on another phone or SD card on that SD card and then pop it in here, because honestly the cameras on here, we'll talk about later, but they're not the greatest. Now, let's talk about the other specs this has. This does have 802.11 ABGNN, so that's the older standard Wi-Fi. It does not have AC, and this does have support for USB OTG, so you can stick your USB in at the top and you can use that OTG function. It does have an accelerometer, and it does have ambient light sensors. It does not have a proximity sensor, or it does not have a barometer. So it does have a gyroscope though, so you can go ahead and play Pokemon Go if you wanted to play that here on your tablet. I'm sure the kids are going to want to play this. This does have support for Bluetooth as well. Pretty much all devices do in this day and age. But yeah, that's pretty much the specifications that matter here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Let's talk about the display. So the Amazon Fire HD8 display is an HD display, and it's very solid. I think most people are going to be very happy with this display for the price you pay. It's very well calibrated, even though it's a cheaper display. I mean, on the viewing angles, it washes out just a bit here, but you're not really gonna have any complaints or issues with this display for the price they are charging you for. It's one of the better displays at this price point, and it airs on the warmer side. I think Amazon knows that you're gonna be wanting to read a lot on this device, so I did find this device to air on the warmer side of the color spectrum in terms of that. So if we go into settings, I want to talk a little bit more about the display. We do have this blue shade feature, which is basically, actually Apple copied, I think, Amazon and took Night Shift and made that Night Shift feature, because this was on Amazon Fire before Night Shift came to iOS 9. But yeah, they have the blue shade feature there, which is awesome here. And you can change the font size of the display to large. You can see this a lot more easily here. And you do have adaptive brightness, which is included within Android. That's why, because this is a forked version of Android, Amazon OS is a forked version of Android. That's why we have the same buttons as Android down here. So you do have the adaptive brightness to adjust to the levels of your room or whatever for the available light. Very similar to the True Tone feature on the iPad, although the True Tone feature does have a little bit more technology behind ambient light, but this basically will optimize for the light in the environment. Overall, you do have the ability to sleep the display, but overall, the display in general, I was actually quite pleased for the price. A little bit reflective, so this is not a display I want to take outside all day, or a display that I'm going to want to have around light. This is a display you get cozy with in your bed at night, and you just watch movies on Netflix, you read in a darker, more ambient environment like Starbucks cafe or whatever cafe, your local cafe, or, you know, chilling at night and watching a movie like I said earlier, or, you know, taking a shit and reading the newspaper. You know what I'm getting at. This is a at-home kind of tablet, or an artificial lighting kind of tablet. This is going to be highly effective in bright lights. So let's get onto the software of the Amazon Fire HD8. All right, guys, in terms of software on the Amazon Fire HD8, we're looking at a skinned version of Android. So, or you could say forked. So they took Android and they basically put their skin on it. They put their own clothes on it, the Amazon clothes. So you can see right here, we do have the 6th generation of the Fire 8. If we go into system updates, you can see Fire OS version 5.3.1.1. So Amazon has been working their own software into this forked version of Android. So basically, what does that mean? That means that this is basically an Android tablet behind the scenes, but you don't get all the Play Store, you don't get all the cool apps, you get Amazon apps. Which is not to say it's a bad thing. I don't believe that it's a bad thing at all. You do get plenty of apps here, but I was kind of disappointed in this app store. It's not the most easy to use. It's not as well laid out as the Play Store, in my opinion, and they do have they have plenty of apps to entertain you, but this is not no tablet that's going to have everything you want. For example, they got a YouTube client, which is cool and all, it works fine, but this is not the official YouTube that's getting updated day after day. So, you know, I just got to mention that. But overall, you got your app store here with plenty of stuff to do, but it is all Amazon related. So if you download an app or buy an app, they're going to send you an email saying you just purchased an Amazon app, things of that nature. This is all trying to get you in the Amazon ecosystem, keeping everything Amazon. But personally, I'm probably going to try to find a way to put the Play Store on this guy, but that's cool if you want to do that or not. It's totally up to you. But if you swipe over to the right, you got books right here, which is cool to show you all kinds of books, your recent suggestions. You got videos here. It's going to show you your videos. And it's very simple to use, but it's really in your face. It's not very clean. I wouldn't say it's anything like an iPad where you have basically your applications where you want. And I'm not being biased towards iPad saying it's better. That's not to say it's better. That's just saying this is not very clean from my opinion. It's very out there. There's a lot of content coming your way at once. Now, if you're a content junkie, a media consumption junkie, you're going to love this thing because it's just always there. And then you have applications here, or games right here. You have game suggestions, things of that nature. If I go slower, you can see I got top grossing in games here, and recommended here, some top underground apps. If I go over to shop, now we can start shopping in Amazon, which is nice. It turns into a white background. So if it's night and you go over here, be sure to have that brightness cranked a little bit lower so you don't blind yourself. But going over here in the apps, we do have apps from my library, top free downloads, music, audiobooks, newsstand right there. So you got your newsstand right there. So basically it feels kind of like you're already in an app store when you're on the home screen. So going all the way to the left, you do have your recent apps that you were using right there. So yeah, that's pretty much the software. I mean, we could go through each one of these apps if you want. They're skinned out. They got more of a dark theme going on with them. I wouldn't say they're the prettiest thing, but you know, that's once again, that's my opinion. Your opinion might change. You might think that this looks great, but it does go well with the Amazon ecosystem. It does go pretty well, and it's probably a notch above the Windows system, to be honest. It's probably a good bit above that. So yeah, that's pretty much the home screens, the software of this guy. Not much going on up here in terms of the tray. You got a few toggles here and there. You got your blue shade there. In here, you could set some family accounts and things like that, parental controls if this is for a child. But yeah, that's pretty much the software. Now, it's pretty smooth overall, this software, so you don't have no troubles in terms of smoothness. It's very smooth. This is not a tablet you're going to want to multitask heavily with and do heavy tasking with, but everyday stuff, you're going to be able to consume plenty of content on here. And if you want to produce stuff on here, this could serve as a tool as well, and it's going to be pretty solid for you overall. So that's the software of the Amazon Fire HD8. Now let's get into the storage of this device. So in terms of the storage, we talked about it before, but once again, it's a 200 gigabyte expandable memory, and it comes with 16 gigabytes out of the box. Now, what's available is something like 12.18 gigabytes, as you can see right there. And that's pretty much it. You can expand your device's storage here with some Amazon stuff here. They're trying to send you here to browse for, you know, micro SD cards. You can pick them up there easily. Once again, trying to get you to use Amazon, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is their product, and they are helping you out by giving you a really affordable product. So I mean, most of us shop on Amazon who shop online anyway, so it's not a big deal. And if you're heavily invested in Amazon Prime and subscription-based things like that, this tablet's going to serve you well. I do got a little marker on there, so don't worry that. But yeah, that's pretty much it there on the storage. You do have a 32 gigabyte model if you want that one. Don't have that one, so I can't tell you the exact internal storage, but if you have that, let me know down below in the comments for other users how much is available out of the box with that one after the skin has been installed. Now let's talk about the audio of the Amazon Fire HD8. So in terms of audio on this guy, now, like I said earlier, we'll talk about this later, and here we are. So the speakers here are stereo speakers, and I'm not gonna play it because playing it on camera, it's really hard to tell, you know, how they sound. You're not really gonna be able to hear how they sound. But over here, they come out this way. So if you're sitting this way, I can tell you right now, you're gonna notice this. This is very noticeable. The content volume is, you can feel it. I don't know if you can feel it, but you can hear it coming this way. So it's like you're gonna be holding it and you can hear the sound just coming this way. It's just like the frequency is going that way. So if you want to, let's say, get the best experience of audio, turn the baby this way, and then it feels more stereo-like. So if you're watching stuff in landscape, it's gonna feel very stereo-like. Now in terms of the overall quality, they're solid. I mean, this is a $90 tablet. They're not punchy. They don't got heavy bass. They're solid speakers. They work, they do their job, but they're nothing to be, don't be fooled by these stereo speakers thinking, oh, I gotta get that tablet just because it has stereo speakers, because these stereo speakers, they're cheap speakers. They're not top dog speakers, so you're not gonna be blown away by these speakers. I think you're just gonna appreciate the fact that you have them on stereo sides, but you're not gonna be thinking like, whoa, I'm so impressed by how punchy and loud they sound. This will probably still sound better on your external speaker if you go ahead and Bluetooth this to an external speaker, and you are gonna get much better audio if you throw on a solid set of headphones and plug them into the 3.5 millimeter headset jack. So that is audio. The speakers come out this way, turn it this way to get the best audio experience from the stereo speakers. If you want the richest audio experience, hook this up to an external speaker or use a quality set of headphones. But if you decide to use these speakers, they do get decently loud. They do sound decent. They perform well. They get the job done. Just remember to use it in landscape. So yeah, that is the audio section of this device. Let's talk about the cameras on the Amazon Fire HD8. So overall, we talked about how tremendous of a value this tablet is. We've been talking about how many things this thing offers for the price. It's a great product, and I stand by it for the price, and we'll talk more about my negatives and positives later. But I gotta talk about the camera here. Here is the camera. We have a 5 megapixel camera here on the back. Let me pull something in. I'm gonna pull a marker in here and put the marker right there. Let's go ahead and focus in. and snap the picture. Now, I don't want to be judgmental here. I want you guys to go ahead and judge it for yourself, the quality of this picture. So here we are. Go ahead and judge that for yourself. I mean, it speaks for itself. That's all I'm going to say. And then you can see, here's another picture that I shot on here of my dog Peyton. Say hello. But you can see there is the picture quality. Now, this is the rear camera. Now, here is the front camera. That's me. Judge the quality for yourself of this camera here. And you can see there's the LG G4. Once again, go ahead and judge the quality of the camera for yourself there. And yeah, that's pretty much the cameras on the Amazon Fire HD8. Like I say, 0.3 megapixel on the front, flip it over to the back, 5 megapixel on the rear. In terms of video, I didn't do any video, but if you want, I'll show you right here a little bit of video here. Let me go ahead and bring the marker back in one more time, and let's start shooting video. You can see, judge the video for yourself right there. Let me zoom in just a bit on the screen so you can see the level of quality there. Judge the video quality for yourself here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Let me zoom back out here and go ahead and stop that. Let it save. So overall, it's pretty smooth camera, but you know, very simple. You can see up here in the software, we do have HDR, image review, photo ratio, panorama, lenticular, and you can go ahead and flip to the front. Say hello, hi, how are you doing over there? And then, yeah, that's pretty much it on the camera. Pretty simple stuff. But like I say, I didn't want to talk about that until later in my personal positives and negatives of the Amazon Fire. Judge for yourself. That's the cameras on the Amazon Fire HD8. All right, guys, you know we cannot do a review without talking about the battery life of the Amazon Fire HD8 or any device in general. So this is a device that is going to give you very solid battery life. A device that also has some power settings here. So you can go ahead and schedule smart suspend, and you can increase standby battery life by turning off wireless connectivity while you're not using the Fire, which is awesome. You can also schedule this as well. Let me see how we schedule this. We turn this one on. You can schedule smart suspend, and you have display settings, which is trying to help you get better battery life here. We talked about those earlier, and wireless settings, which will help you get better battery life there. But overall, this device gets very good battery life. I'd say on a day-to-day, you're gonna have to charge this. If you use it heavy, once a day. If you don't use it heavy, once every 2 days. This is a very strong battery life here. I got about 6 to 7, sometimes 8 hours of on-screen time. If I kept the brightness at a solid level, kept it on Wi-Fi, and just did what I did, about 6 to 8 hours of screen on time I got on this device. In my experience, more leaning towards the 8-hour mark, but overall, very strong battery life here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Standby time was incredible, so you don't got to worry about that whatsoever. In terms of battery life, this is less than HD across a screen, across a big screen, less than HD across a big 8-inch screen. This is, let's say, a less powerful processor, so you're not eating away with all that power. So overall, if you want a tablet that's going to last, you can charge it up, let your kids play with it throughout the day. You're going to be fine. And I'm not speaking towards being biased towards a parent who has kids. If you're not a kid and you're just buying this for yourself and you're doing your schoolwork, you're reading books from school, you're doing whatever, whoever you are, you're going to be able to get through the day just easily and fine in terms of battery life with the Amazon Fire HD8. So no worries there. Let's get into the performance of the Amazon Fire HD8. All right, guys, now talking about performance, this baby is just great for its price. Now, if you just look, there is no lag whatsoever. I mean, this baby can perform. As you can see right there, for its price point, it is very optimized. And I had the HD Fire 7 of last year, and that one didn't even perform as well as this one. Now, I know this is a little bit higher end than that model. It's like $50 more, and it really shows. I would rather pay $90 over $40 and get the level of performance that I get here with the Amazon Fire HD8 here. It's really solid. This is probably attributed to its lower resolution screen. It has more RAM than that model, but you can see this is not no iPad level performance, but it's damn close in terms of just opening apps in everyday use. You'd be hard pressed to even notice the difference. You buy this tablet, you buy an iPad, and you basically would get similar performance in your everyday use. Now, in terms of when we get into more work productive tasks, video, all kinds of things like that, of course the iPad will blow this away. But in terms of just opening up a magazine, opening up a calculator, opening up a camera, opening up Twitter, playing a game here and there, it's not a big difference. It works. This baby just works. Amazon has done a great job of refining that, and I don't promote them. Like, I'm not working for them, telling them. They didn't sponsor this video. This is just from my experience. It just works, basically. So if you're worried about performance, do not sweat it. This guy's going to give you great performance, no lag. It just works. So in terms of performance, this one is a straight up go all day. For its price point, I give this guy a 10 out of 10 in terms of performance. Now let's talk about gaming on the Amazon Fire HD8. So if you've watched my videos in the past or my channel, you know I'm not a big gaming person here, but I do always download Temple Run for examples, and I just ran off a cliff because I was already playing it earlier. But you can see this baby can play games pretty funnily, and you know, if you're playing portrait games like this, once again that audio is firing this way, and but overall when you start playing games this way, it's going to be a great experience. Big screen, like I say, a little bit reflective, as you can even see in this video, a little bit reflective there. But overall, you know, it plays games and plays them well. There's a few frame rate drops here and there on more graphically intensive games, but your everyday casual fun, let's just play a game here and there, it's gonna play games just fine for its price. And I think you're gonna be just happy with the gaming performance. I don't think anybody's buying this tablet trying to play Infinite Glory, and I don't even know if that's a game, you know, but you know what I'm talking about. Call of Duty, all these more graphically intensive games. That's what we got our gaming PCs for. That's what we got our iPad Pros for. And if you don't have those, you can still play games quite funnily here. And this is all you can get to at this moment in your life. You're still going to be able to play games very well here on the Amazon Fire. So if you were worrying about gaming, don't worry about it. You're going to be able to enjoy plenty of your games, even Pokemon Go here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Now I want to talk about the value proposition of the Amazon Fire HD8. So in terms of this value proposition section we're going to talk about here, we're talking about the level of value you get for your money and your overall time that you're going to be spending with the Amazon Fire HD8. And let me tell you guys, this baby offers a tremendous value, probably the best. I'm going to go on record here to say the best cheap tablet on the market, the Amazon Fire HD8, the best 8-inch cheap tablet on the market. Now you can disagree with me. If you disagree, drop a tablet down below that you think is better. But I think this offers the best value all around package on the market. It gives you stereo speakers. It gives you an HD display. It gives you solid performance. It gives you plenty of apps with the ability to throw the Play Store on here if you do a little bit of research. It gives you smooth performance. And it just gives you a whole ecosystem for less than $100. I mean, a very expansive and growing ecosystem, which is Amazon, which is only going to keep growing and growing because it's just getting more people who are getting more devices, and Amazon is just getting more traffic. So basically, this is, you know, one of the best value tablets on the market. You can buy this tablet today, and this is the type of tablet you buy and you don't feel like technology keeps replacing it, because yeah, Amazon will release one in 2017, but they wait a very long time to release one of these. You probably won't see this again until fall of next year. So this is going to be a very, you know, future-proof tablet. You can use this all year and it won't feel outdated. You could probably use this 2 years and it won't feel outdated. And for the price you pay, I don't even think you're going to be thinking like, damn, I want the next big thing, because you only paid $90 for this. This is something you're not going to probably care to upgrade all the time. It's just, it's a great value here. You get stereo speakers, you get a 3.5mm headset jack, and overall, just a very strong value. The value you get out of this is insane. I mean, $90 and you can browse the web, watch Netflix, you can go on Facebook, you can network with people, you can download apps, you can expand up to 200 gigabytes. This could be your media computer. This is basically a small computer in your hand right here. This could be, if this is the only computer you have, you can actually get by with this thing because of the amount of storage you can throw in this. Now, if you got a phone that has a micro SD card expansion, you go to somebody who has a PC and you don't got a laptop, you need to throw movies on there, you need to throw all kinds of files on there. You could stick that in here and you could put your files on this baby, and this could be, you can download a Docs application, and this baby can be your total like computer for your life. So overall, I know I'm getting a little bit excited there. I just love the value that you get with this. This is really targeted to hit pretty much anyone and everywhere. you know, this, and even if you cannot get this one, they have an even cheaper model, which is the HD7. Not quite as great as this one, but it's still pretty great nonetheless. So very strong value here for the money. And this is a tablet that I could recommend to anyone. It has a little bit for everyone. For kids, it's got plenty of games. For people who are older, who just, you know, I'm not saying all old people want to read magazines, but just in my experience, I see a lot of older people at McDonald's drinking a coffee or whatever and reading magazines, and maybe they want to catch up and get with this new age stuff. You can go ahead and get your magazines going here. And if you just like magazines and it doesn't matter your age, go ahead and you could go ahead and do that. If you're, you know, into audiobooks, you like listening things, you got the whole audio, you know, Audible ecosystem here right on the device. If you're into music, you got all the music here you want. If you're into apps, you got plenty of apps you can go ahead and download here. If you just like shopping on Amazon, this is the shopping on Amazon dream right here. Basically, the value proposition is very high on this tablet. The only thing I would say, do not buy this tablet if you want to use it to take pictures. This is not a picture taking machine. I'm sure you've seen from the pictures earlier. Now let's talk about my personal negatives of this device, and then we'll talk about the personal positives and wrap this video up. All right, guys, I want to talk about my personal negatives of this device, and there's not that many. You know, for the price, I don't, you know, really want to gripe about it too much. Personally, I just love all technology and don't really like picking them apart because they're targeted for different people across the board. But I do got to let you know what I don't like about it. Now, first off, I reserved this for the personal negatives. The cameras, they are straight trash. Just let's put it that way. You basically got a camera on here that is only good enough to take a picture for reference. Essentially, you know how you got a DSLR camera, you take a video and you use that audio in there, it sounds trashy, windy all over there. This is basically equivalent to that for cameras. The camera on the front is a 0.3 megapixel. You heard that right, 0.3 megapixel. That is what you had in flip phones. Going over to the back side, the 5 megapixel camera, I'm surprised that's even a 5 megapixel camera because it looks horrible. So essentially, this is not a picture taking machine. I mean, it can be, but just remember, when people look at these pictures, if they're anything onto tech and into the newer age, they're gonna see those pictures, and even if they don't say anything about your pictures, you know that they're gonna be thinking that that quality of that camera is trash. So if you want a awesome camera, what I'm trying to say is this is not a valuable product for having an awesome camera experience. Can you take a picture? Of course you can. Can you document with this on Instagram? Of course you can. But is it going to be high quality? Of course not. My second negative is the stereo speakers. Nice to have them. Very grateful that Amazon went ahead and put these in here, but I do got to mention this just so Amazon could take this into consideration for improving their future products. They probably might want to have to put them stereo speakers down here. There's a slot right there, you could have put it right there, and there's a slot right there, you could have put it right there. That would have made it better for both using it in portrait and landscape, but they went ahead and decided to take this naked side over here and throw the speakers here, which makes the portrait experience just annoying when you are using the audio. Yes, I mean, I'm not saying annoying like it's gonna bother you too much, but it's very noticeable. Every time you listen to something, you're gonna hear the frequency firing that way, that away, that away. So you're gonna hear it firing that way. So that's my personal negative there on the audio. And another personal negative is just the overall, I don't know, the feel of this tablet. Yeah, it's $90, but it feels just like a block of plastic. I'm not saying that it's a horrible feeling, it's quality plastic, but you know, I just gotta point out my negatives here. We'll talk about the positives, but it just feels a little bit cheap. I think they could have added, you know, a little bit more texture. I know they're trying to keep this cost way down, but yeah, they could have probably added a little more texture here to the plastic. I'd say more of a matte texture to this plastic, made it feel just slightly more value. And I think even if they had to up it to like maybe 115 bucks and 130 for the ad version, to make that like a more matte feel, it would have been more grippy, because this thing can slip out of your hands quite easily here for the Amazon Fire HD8. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't have Wi-Fi AC, which made the Wi-Fi a little bit slower, but it's not gonna really matter too much if you get one of those new routers like Google Wi-Fi or whatever. But basically, that is the Amazon Fire HD8 and my personal negatives. Let's talk about my personal positives, and there are plenty to be talked about on this baby. So let's get into that. All right, guys. So what are my personal positives of the Amazon Fire HD8? The screen. I love the screen on this guy. Even though it is a little bit reflective, for the money, I feel like I got a great screen. You know, it doesn't wash out too much. It's not embarrassing wash out on the angles. I like warm screens. That's just my personal preference here. But it does have a warm screen, so it's very nice to enjoy your magazines, to enjoy books, and to enjoy media on here. It's got a very nice warm screen, so that basically, it's easier on your eyes in my opinion. So I like that. I like they included that. I like the size of this screen for the price. Under $100, you get 8 inches of display. That's pretty solid. I mean, it's not a 10-inch, but still, you know, it's right there. It's that nice medium between a small tablet and a very large tablet. Now, battery life is another baby that I really loved about this guy, another positive. The battery life is just incredibly solid here on the Amazon Fire HD8. For example, you can take this baby out off charge and you could use it all day, pretty much throughout your day, your flow, whatever your work flow, your day flow, whatever your flow is, you can use this baby all day and you're going to be very happy with the battery life. You're going to be able to get things done around here on this baby right here and not going to have to worry about it. You can go ahead and, now it does charge, it takes a little bit of time to charge, but overall not too long. Just put it on overnight and you'll be good there. And another positive of this device I liked is the optimization of the software. Due to, you know, Amazon refining their Fire OS version, they took Android and what could be a very laggy experience on many cheap Android tablets. They threw their skin on there, and I don't think the skin is a problem because the skin is very optimized. One thing I would do though is go ahead and try to find a way to put the Play Store inside of these applications, which I did on my Fire HD7, and rock out with some Android apps on here within the Amazon ecosystem here, making it just a bit better experience. But overall, the optimization and the smoothness of this platform is very strong for this price. And I think that's what one of the biggest things that attributes to its high ratings on Amazons.com. So yeah, that's another positive. What is another positive of this device? It offers the blue shade feature. So many years ago, I knew this for years. I was using blue light filter for like 6 years already, but blue shade allows you to keep your eyes safe at night. Melatonin, you know about that. If you don't know about it, basically at nighttime, the blue light that comes to your eyes is supposedly, well, not supposedly, science proves this now, that it can decrease the melatonin in your brain, making you sleep very like later at night and basically destroying your sleep patterns, and just, that's not good for life. We all know that sleep is a crucial aspect to our health, and having blue light filter on here can only increase the level of sleep that you get if you're using your electronics at nighttime. So I like the blue shade feature here as well. What else did I like about this device? Expandable storage. You have expandable storage up to 200 gigs, and you see me getting excited about that because that's exciting. You can put a lot of stuff on here if you just get a little bit creative. You know, with the way you use your micro SD card, you can put documents, videos, all kinds of stuff, all your files from your PC on there, and then knock it into here and you're good to go here. You can take your PC into your tablet on the go. For example, if you need to read a bunch of documents you downloaded as PDFs off of your PC, you just transfer them to your micro SD cards, pop it in here, and now you can read the PDF research documents that you had to research throughout the day within the Docs application right here. So it's very versatile in the storage sense. And what's another positive I liked about this baby here? I like the tactile feel of the buttons. I think it's very easy to realize that the power button's on the right if it's late at night or whatever. And just the feel of this, and Trump and Hillary can get off of there for now. And basically, these buttons just are very tactile here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Also the build. I think for the price, I know I said in my negatives I didn't like the way the plastic felt, but in terms of the build, it feels solidly constructed. Like, this is not a tablet I feel like, oh, this thing's just gonna break if I drop it. It feels well built for its price. It doesn't feel like they just sloppily put something together, and I don't feel creaks and pops all over this device, like cracks and creaks. It's just, it doesn't make noise. It's quiet, and it just does what it does, and it does it well. So those are pretty much my positives. And also my final positive is the ability to play games at a pretty smooth frame rate. They play games pretty well on here. And yeah, that's pretty much my positives of the Amazon Fire HD8. Let's wrap this baby up with my conclusion of the Fire HD8 in this full in-depth review. All right, guys, if you made it this far, I want to thank you all for watching this full in-depth review. But who is this device for? We're going to wrap this baby up with a conclusion. Are you a person who is trying to, let's say, get your shit together? You're trying to make wise investments. You just need a tablet that's going to give you a ton of features to browse the web, check emails, put your documents on, but you don't care too much about having a great camera on your tablet. And you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you just want a tablet. You're sick of looking at a small smartphone screen. You might have a 4.7-inch iPhone. You might have a, let's say, a smaller iPhone 5S or whatever, and you want a tablet, but the iPad Pro or the iPad Air 2 is a little bit out of your price range at this current moment in your life. You know you can get it eventually, but at this point, you don't want to spring that much for a tablet. This tablet's for you. I think you'll really enjoy the investment you made here, and it's not going to hurt your wallet too much there. Who else is this device for? This device is for a parent who has little children who love tablets, and that's why I mentioned kids a lot throughout this video, and they just want something to, you know, mama, do all that stuff with and play with the tablet all day, you know, to put it up in the headrest, wrap it around the back seat of your car. And this is that kind of tablet, and it's not going to be a large investment for you if you're, you know, working a job and whatever, you know, you're self-employed, whatever you're doing, and you just don't want to make a huge investment in tablets for kids that might just break if they fall, and they're pretty durable, so it's not going to break it's not going to break very easily if they throw it across the room or whatever. It's a pretty durable tablet for children use, so I'd say if you're a parent with children, this is for your child, that's going to be a great investment here on the Amazon Fire HD8. Who else is this for? This is for a person who is, you know, very invested in the Amazon ecosystem. They love Amazon. They use it all the time. They shop on Amazon all the time. They got a Prime membership. They got a Kindle Fire, or this is a Kindle Fire. They got a, what is them things called? The Amazon Fire Stick. They watch it on their TV all the time, and they just want to keep everything Amazon-like. This is going to be a great tablet for you as well. One of the best of, you know, the lineup in terms of getting, you know, into their ecosystem at a very entry-level price point. So yeah, that's pretty much who this is for. Also, this could be just for someone, once again, who's on a budget. They just want to play some games. They want to read. They want to do things like that. This can be a great device for them. And also, one last person I want to mention, the content consumption junkie. There is so much content, and it's ready to go out the box. You open this guy up, and Amazon wants you to start consuming content. It's ready to go. Unlike an iPad where you have, you know, apps on the screen and it's like go in the app store, find what you want. Here, you're ready to go out the box. They set you up ready to go with all the stuff you've been already reading, videos, suggestions, games, shopping, apps. They want you to consume content, mostly Amazon content, but you can still pick and choose a little bit what you like to do here. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this full in-depth review of the Amazon Fire HD8. This review was designed to help you get the most in-depth understanding, and if it helped you do just that, please go ahead and show your support and love by leaving this video a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on this tablet, and I appreciate you guys stick around. I appreciate your support. Have a great day wherever you are. Be sure to be well, and peace.